Hey everyone, we are live from RMSDF with the John Hallett podcast and my social media manager behind the camera. Are you on the camera?
I'll put myself there now.
Okay, we'll do that.
Well, you
so
were supposed to
people know
start
what
with your
you look
monologue.
like.
You know, you were supposed to do a monologue. We had like 7 minutes planned. You were going to give us the breakdown and then this.
This is the crap I have to deal with, people.
The you deal with. Do you know what it's like working with you? The most driven person I've ever met. And if I don't show up to something, he just kind of will send a text like, really missed you today, or how was sleeping in? You know?
Yeah, I was sleeping in.
You punched me in the nose yesterday too.
No, you punched yourself in the nose.
That's what you keep telling everyone. Quit beating yourself up, Josh. It hurt too.
Yeah, you whacked yourself.
Popped.
You are forcing technique. You are forcing technique. You get whacked. I wasn't even trying to whack you.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
It felt
Hopefully
great,
you learned from that. Stop forcing and muscling.
That's all I know.
Well, relax. Be calm.
That's been your real push lately, is relax and training, slow things down.
I would say lately, but maybe your people are hearing me. There's always the time for the fast and the hard. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Fitness, martial arts, there's the time that, you need your slow training, your technique training, and, you need sometimes the fast and you need the middle pace. Just doesn't always have to be the same. I mean, this week, I just got back from Minnesota training with Todd Fossey and the IDS Apex crew. Met some good guys. But I am beaten up, I'm sore, my knees from years of football and construction work. My knees kind of are really tired and achy, and Monday morning it's up at 4:24. Why 4:24, Josh?
That's your birth date?
Nope.
I don't.
It's just random. I don't know. Maybe I should have
I was
done
going to say it. There might have been a reason and I didn't know it.
4:25. I don't know. It's just like 4:24.
Well, you sent me a text when you were doing all that training. You're like, I'm genuinely sore. And I've never really had you say, like, after something that you're like genuinely sore. So it must have been like intense, man. That's all I was thinking.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's 10-hour days, so that, a 10-hour day adds up.
Oh, yeah.
From, working out an hour or two is my more typical. So when you do 10 hours, even though, some of it's debrief and lecture, but not a ton of it. So it just adds up.
Would you like the weather out there? What weather do you like better, Colorado or Mini?
Definitely Colorado.
Yeah.
Definitely Colorado.
For the sunshine,
I think it's always back, even just talking about slow, I just got up, did my cold plunge, didn't make any excuses of time change or being sore, and just kind of get right back on the routine, because otherwise you get out of the routine by getting too off track. But, I think I did a workout probably 35 to 50 pounds lighter than I normally would, and just going slow and just working out just a little bit, just to be in the routine and not breaking that habit. I've always told people, it's okay to go slow and easy and take, your body better than I do or any of the other coaches. So sometimes you got to go slow. Now, sometimes people are slacking off, and that's why you need the coach, and that's why somebody be like, oh, John's being mean. But really, a lot of times I see a lot of people just never click it into a little bit higher of a gear, let's say, or push themselves outside their comfort zone. You got to do that once in a while. I mean, I try to do something really hard, workout-wise, at least once a week. So,
like pushing yourself until it's like that exhaustion piece?
I'm just going to go, I'm going to go as hard as I can. I'm going to try to keep pushing myself hard for whatever, whatever that workout is, of like, okay, I'm not too worried about my form. Of course, you don't want to blow up or you're getting to be a train wreck. You should stop, but, staying in good control, but just going hard and fast versus, Monday, I'm like, I am sore. I don't want to do anything, but I'm going to make myself do something just to stay in routine, because I think that's where so many people fall off, is routine. They fall off a week, and all of a sudden, I always say a week becomes two, and two's four, and then four's eight, and
it compounds. And it's so easy, like, it's hard to get into shape, but boy, is it easy to get out of shape.
Yeah.
I mean, it is easy, right? You take 2, 3, 4 days off, and you try to get back into it, and you're sucking wind harder. I mean, I don't know what the actual science says about that, but if I just don't train for a few days, I feel it.
Oh, yeah.
It's super hard, so. And as I got older, it got worse, you know? Ugh. The whole aging part of fitness sucks. It just does, man. I love doing it. It's great for you.
I think that's always the case. I don't know. I just say keep working out, be young at heart, keep that attitude. But yeah, you got to be smarter as you age, and you need a little bit more recovery. You can't push yourself as much, but you just got to be smart. So I don't know. I just think it's an excuse. Like, oh, I'm old. I mean, I just had a 32-year-old guy tell me he was old.
32?
Yeah.
I'll exchange the knees and elbows then if they're good.
So,
I'll accept them.
It's all like whatever. It's always hard, but you just got to be smart. Keep going at your pace.
Yeah.
So.
What happened to your pinky?
What? This is the dumbest conversation, Josh.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to talk about my pinky. You want to talk about my pinky just getting a
It
little
looked really
tweaked.
jacked up.
Like, I look at that as like a lucky little tweak and go, it could have been worse. I'm like, yeah, I tweaked my pinky. Josh is really concerned about my pinky.
I was, because, I was just bringing something up.
It just got tweaked. I don't know. Can you come up with something better? Like,
okay. See, now you put me on this. This is like the worst podcast ever, John.
Yeah.
Why'd you do this to me?
Because you moved me out of my element. Now I'm like...
I wanted to try something new. And he does not do well with change.
It's like the ping pong balls I got sitting up in the office.
We're going to use
like
those.
The paint, green screen paint.
I have the system. We're ready to screen right now. We're just building a wall.
Yeah.
Are we going to paint that new wall green?
Which wall?
The one we're going to use for all of that fun corner work you're going to start showing us.
How can you paint a padded wall green?
Are you going to put a pad on it? Let's make the pad green, and we'll green screen off that.
Oh, that would be the ugliest color.
Probably. It'd be horrible, but it'd be fun.
No,
yes,
it would not.
See, we have different degrees of fun, don't we?
Yeah, because painting a wall in my gym ugly, green screen green.
That was the plan from the start, remember?
No,
that's why we got the paint.
That was going to be upstairs, Josh. You're very forgetful.
It always, whatever. You know what? You're the boss. We're going to do it that way. It doesn't
Still
matter.
waiting for you to do this. I'm going to start throwing those ping pong balls at you.
Well, I'm going to wear one of those full-size green suits so it looks like the ping pong balls are flying out of nowhere.
Yeah, that would be cool.
They would be. Remember when I was like, hey, John, I need 1,000 ping pong balls. Don't ask any questions. And you're like, this is the stupidest thing ever. And then you ordered them.
Well, yeah, I was trusting you. That's why I don't trust you anymore.
I'm getting, what? That was fast. The
you.
ping pong incident?
Yeah, I give you one chance. One chance, you're done,
one
Josh.
Chance.
One chance.
Oh my gosh.
You're done.
Oh man.
So, well, yeah, I think people will get, you got to stay on track, Josh. You got to stay on track.
I'm working on it. Well, everyone should stay on track, though, especially when it comes to your fitness and all that stuff. So that's the hardest part, is like just trying to stay the course, right? I mean, for anybody that's doing it, it's getting up every day and thinking to yourself and having that little fight, like, you know what, I'll just stay at home today. I don't know. That's the fight I keep getting.
Always an excuse. I can make an excuse. You can say the gym floor needs to be cleaned. There's always an excuse. It's just about changing your mindset of what type of person you want to be. Do you want to be in shape? Do you want to be able to defend yourself? Do you just, it's like Bill Anderson. He memorizes stuff. And I think I don't know if he said an hour a day.
Yeah, something wild, man.
But I've got a notebook. I just write it down. But I still forget to write it down. But, that that's something he's interested in. So he's made up his mind. He's going to join this group and work on memorizing things.
He's a memory black belt too.
So it's deciding what you want to do and putting forth the effort. Where I think it's a major problem for people, and what's just the culture. I'm actually listening to is it Sebastian? How do you say his last name? Younger, whatever his name is.
Younger?
Reading his book, Tribe.
Tribe, you said? Or Tribe?
Yeah, his book. He's got a book called
Really?
Tribe. I think
What's
it's
that about?
really
it's piquing
good.
my interest because you know my background, and I'm like, why would you use the word tribe in a title? So
It's got some really good points in there.
yeah.
And just interesting, and it kind of, I was just reading, what was it? Empire, the Summer Moon, and he goes and talks about Indian culture and their warriors, and I forget what tribe, because I'm not prepped for this show, Josh, but I'm bad at that anyways. But
You need a better producer in your life.
yeah,
Let's be honest.
I need somebody just to do all the research for me.
All the time.
I need to take notes, but I'm usually driving, so it's really hard to take notes when you're driving. So one of they separated, I forgot what Indian tribe, that they separated the leaders from the warriors, and it wasn't the warriors that decided when they went to war. It was another group, like the non-warriors, that were deciding, we're going to go to war with this tribe. It wasn't the warriors deciding, yeah, let's fight, because generally speaking, warriors are going, yeah, let's fight. But there was a lot of very interesting book so far. I'm not even all the way through it. But there's a lot of good things in there, a lot of good takeaways, things we talk about on the podcast and at the gym here of just the culture. He talks about a study out of Israel, and where the war is on your front doorstep, that there's less post-traumatic stress, a lot of different things than our soldiers coming back, where we haven't fought a war on our land since when? How many years?
18. Second war for independence.
Yeah.
You know, ish. That was the last time I think we were. Well, 9/11.
The Civil War. I mean,
9/11
happened and then nothing happens, right? So different, but it's quite interesting. He interviews a girl from Sarajevo and how that city was under siege, and she's just talking about how happy they were during the war, and there wasn't this depression. He links a study to the Brits in World War II of what they thought was going to happen if they were allowing people to be in bunkers. They thought people weren't going to come out, and then work was going to be done, and they weren't going to be able to continue the war effort. And their study was completely wrong.
People couldn't wait to get out.
They were fighting. They were going about their day and doing their duty. A lot of good psychological stuff there. There was less depression.
Kids seem to adapt really well to war environments because that's the only environment they end up growing up in, right?
Yeah.
So, which is kind of different.
That's a different one. Yeah. But he was just talking about people, there was less psychological problems going on with people during those times. So really just quite an interesting book, and just how we're just so disconnected here. I think it's just such a problem, and that's where, like the short we did that, I created RMSDF because I didn't like big box gyms and that type of stuff. It's like, it's our culture, it's small, it's not this big thing, and it's not this detached program. See, Josh, your table's shaking, isn't it? Is the table shaking?
Stop taking the dang table, man. This is what
Josh
it's like
got a
every day
cheap-ass
with him.
table.
Just shake the table.
He's just going to be like, yeah, you don't have any money.
Do you get up every morning and think to yourself, I'm finding new ways to screw with Josh?
Yes,
be honest.
definitely.
Be honest.
That's what Jamie and I were just meeting about. Like, all right, how are we going to mess with Josh?
Is that what that was about?
Yeah.
You guys were talking in hushed whispers too.
Yeah, we're like, this is what you're going to do.
This is impossible.
to Josh. She's like right behind you right now.
She's not. I can see what's behind me, which is kind of scary.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
So you do think that? This is not a hostile work environment at all.
It's not a hostile work environment. We're a gym. We're a martial arts place.
Yeah, it's
you got to be able to
actually
take
get hit. That's true. This is the only job I've ever had where people you expect to get hit by somebody. But now we kind of shoot each other with lasers too. But whatever. I digress.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting that people adapt so well to adverse environments, right?
Yep.
And that's
look, Josh. Now the heater's on. I told you that was going to happen.
I'm just going to
How's the audio, Josh? How's the audio?
I can still hear you, and I can pull it out later. I have these wonderful little toys. See, I was trying to make a good point about something, and you took me to.
That's what you do to me all the time, Josh.
Well, why do you
Josh,
have a really loud?
You always have to tell you to shut up.
I talk.
Okay, now go. Continue.
That's what I do.
Was your
I'm an
great point?
entertainer, not a martial artist. Clearly, that was why you hired me.
Still waiting for your point, Josh.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing
This
here?
is off the rails. Why does this always go off the rails?
You forgot your
with
point.
You
You
come up with
forgot your
points,
point.
and then we just start arguing.
You forgot your point. So, what do you think? With your, why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about your background in that area of expertise?
So my degree is in anthropology. I've been working in what we call the applied field, which deals in what we call directed culture change. You know, we always strive for better culture as we move forward. But my whole purpose and goal is to help people find solutions that make their life better. Right? It sounds kind of like a life coach or a salesperson, and I guess you could say that about it. But really, we're just there to make sure that culturally we can find solutions to problems. You know, and one of the problems I remember you telling me is that in our culture, everybody loves being lazy. Am I wrong?
People being like to be lazy?
Lazy. That's all they do. They like to be lazy.
Yeah,
and that is the biggest thing you fight culturally every day is lazy ass people who don't want to get out and make their lives better. They're always looking for the like a quick solution. We were making fun of like some of those things we see where you put on the electrodes and it works you out all day, right? And you're supposed to get better, and that's what people are after, is that easy way out, right? They don't want to put in the work, and you're like, Josh, let's come in and just try to convince people that that's what they need to do, which is what we do every day here, right? We're just always trying to convince people that you've got to do something besides just sit on your ass all day. And I was one of those people. You motivated me, and then that's what really got us the whole thing spurred about our conversation. And you're like, all right, well, let's make content and stuff that just gets people off their butts and motivated. And I'm the biggest example. I'm a huge success case with you because I'm in a lot better shape. I've lost weight. I have put on strength. I've increased skill. I started doing things I never thought I would do before the moment I joined RMSDF.com.
Yeah, and it's just slow and steady. It's just joining. It's just starting wherever you're at, just doing something, trying to make yourself a little bit better. But yeah, I think people, you know, I was listening to Jeff Cavalier, Athlete X, and he said,
great guy.
You know, the internet searches for TRT and testosterone replacement and all this other stuff and stuff going around on TikTok. My stepson was saying, there's some stuff, some supplement. You know, I'm like, you know, it's unproven. Like,
why
you want to take something that you're not quite sure
anyway?
of.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of just like, I'm going to take these supplements, or, you know, people just, whatever it is. I think supplements are good and vitamins, but there's a lot of people just looking for, well, I'm going to do testosterone before I maybe should. I wouldn't jack with my body until I absolutely had to. That I felt like I'm really feeling it.
I think I want a doctor to tell me.
Beyond like, hey, I'm not 30 anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and being smart of going, well, I don't think I should feel like I'm 30. Feel pretty close unless I look in the mirror. Then I'm like, oh, man, Josh.
I look good for my age. I'm not going to say what it is, 44, but whatever.
44.
You got a better tan. I'll give you that. You got a better tan.
Yep.
But why does? So you said your son was telling you, why do young people think that they already need to take supplements for testosterone?
Right, because somebody else
Why?
is. Because somebody else is.
He doesn't need them. In fact, he's at that age where he's making more testosterone than he needs.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I thought. I'm like, dude, you're at the peak.
Yeah.
And you're not even at the peak. You're not even at 18.
He's still heading up there, right?
So I'm like, just because other people are, and he wasn't that, he wasn't, I need to do this. He was just probably picking Jenny and I's brain a little bit.
But there's propaganda out there telling him people
Yeah,
need
there's people out there posting all this stuff. From, you know, the Liver King and his BS. There's just a lot of crap out there.
That dude's weird.
I think if the internet breaks, it would be fantastic. Having a small tribe and just being around people. I think that's the camaraderie, like with Krav Maga, any martial art, really. I mean, but when you do an instructor training, like the bond with those people are just so great because you went through some really hard things. You know, the same thing. We're trying to keep our group together for the next IDS certification, and we're hoping everybody can make that date. I think there is a vote coming up, Josh. I didn't want to tell you about it. Yeah, whether or not to allow Sparkle Sash into it or not. Just kidding.
Oh, no, hold on. No, let's explore this for a moment here.
Wait.
So I wasn't part of the vote, and you guys didn't want me
Well,
on
yeah,
the
you
island?
can't vote on yourself. Yeah, should we let Sparkle Sash in or not? Bill voted no, I'm just telling you.
That's shocking. Hey, I was under the impression like 2/3 of you failed. And that was not fun because I was like, man, this thing's got to be like dangerously hard.
Yeah, we messed with Josh. We told him
That's
Nick
shocking.
and Bill failed, and he believed it. But so 2.5, level 2.5 is weapons, defense against weapons with the SERP pistol, without. And you can do that one out of order a little bit. Todd was nice enough after talking to his business partner that I was going to ask him, and in our debrief yesterday, he said, any of your Krav Maga instructors can do level 2.5. I think they'll like it. I think they'll get some stuff out of it in there. So I've got to, I mean, if you're listening to the podcast, you're getting it right here, right now, that we're going to open it up. But what I'm going to say is, you know, have an open mind. You haven't been exposed to, you know, but a fraction. The people that have been doing IDS, you know, you've got, you know, at the most, you know, 5 hours, some of the students, you know, I mean, 6, I mean.
Still real new here.
Still real new here, and you're just getting a fraction of that, you know, first 34-ish, 35 hours of training we had from level 1. Now 3 of us are through level 2. So it's an open mind, and that's how I've always viewed martial arts. Is kind of, Todd likes to talk about Bruce Lee. He's one of my idols of like, there is no way. You're just going to find your way.
Right, yeah.
And some people get just too caught up into, and I think like Bill will do it, then I'm like, I'm trying to get you good at the technique. And there's a time for technique, but I want to remind you that I'm always doing that Krav Maga principle, or you know what John says, like, win the fight. The fight is now on.
Yeah.
You tried the technique, you drilled it, but then there's that time of like, now it's mayhem. It's violence. You got to do whatever it takes to go home. And I think any martial art can do that. Krav Maga, it doesn't matter. And that, you know, somebody's trying to force an arm bar because they're just see the arm bar and they're just forcing it when a triangle choke is there. So that's what I'm going to warn any of the Krav Maga instructors that have not done any IDS, that you're going to have to come in with an open mind, because Todd's got a great mind, and you've got to be open to seeing something different that might contradict, might be a little bit different. Can you adapt it? And even Todd's like, take it or leave it. Is it something that you can interject, or that's not the right word, but that you can insert into your martial art, whatever it may be. So looking for, you know, anybody that might be interested in doing that. That's going to be September 7th. That is a Thursday through Sunday. Sunday's a half a day. And they are 10-hour days, 8 to 6.
Intense, but worth it.
Yep. So we're going to, and it's going to be here in RMSDF. We've got Todd coming in, and we got some of the guys from the Forge from South Dakota, Joe out of North Carolina, I believe, or South. I could be messing that one up. And then Ron hopefully makes it from Extreme Krav Maga in St. Louis. And we keep that group, and we get, you know, 1 or 2 of our Krav Maga instructors in. You know, you weren't able to join us. Justin wasn't able to join us. So that's what we were trying to work out, that we could get you guys at least through 2.5, and then you'll have to go back and do
two.
the level 2 module because they are different. Everything builds, but those are kind of like, 2.5 could have been 2, and 2 could have been 2.5.
Sure.
So
My time will come. I'm ready to go. I mean, when it happens, I'll do it because I found it. I love this stuff, and I love the way it, like the angle and all the stuff
it
that
works
you're
really
injecting
well.
into it. Because I do need that martial arts piece, and that's where your crop came in so well.
Yeah, you need
it's
to.
amazing.
The whole insert strikes. That's easier said than done. If you're not a striker to insert strikes, that takes a lot of training to insert that into your pistol craft. Being a citizen defender, it's like everything's easier said.
Yeah. That's why we
It's
train.
I'll just keep my gun, or I'll just shoot him if he comes near me. It's all this just crap
I have no
that
idea.
people want to just say. They don't want to train. That's why I really hate people that, I don't hate them. I really hate it when they say that.
irritate
That could
it
be a really good, because there's, but people say that, right? They start saying what they're going to do, but they never want to test it. And that's one thing that I loved about Krav Maga. It's one thing I love about IDS. We're going to put it to the test. Let's try it.
Every day.
Let's try it. Where people just want to say what they're going to do, but they don't put it to the test.
Right, and you find out if it works or not. That way you can start building on it, right? That's the whole point, is if you try a technique and it doesn't work, keep building on something, keep trying. Because it's gonna work to some degree. It's just being able to find out what worked or not. Another example is just finding out kind of like whether the technique works out of a holster. Is that holster gonna help with the technique, or is even the hand-to-hand gonna prevent someone from getting out of a holster? You just don't, there's so many variables on any one of the things that it teaches that it's like a puzzle that you're constantly putting together. And there's a whole bunch of improvisation that has to be done. So if you're kind of one of those improvisation artsy types, it works well for you because, improvisation does work. I mean, you need to learn the base techniques, but then after that, we just play with it to see if that's what's gonna be efficient down the road. So, like everybody has said, it's like a laboratory sometimes. We're constantly testing stuff, trying new stuff to make sure that it works. And if it works, we adopt it. At least John has, and I've seen him just change, where he carries something or something like that. You know what I mean? On his everyday carry setup. So
Yeah, we've talked about
it's
that.
fun. I mean, it's serious stuff. We know that, right? Anytime that you deal with self-defense, it's serious stuff. But at the same time, let's train and have a little fun doing it. And let's play some of the games. Let's play some of the scenarios. And just seeing the stuff. I don't know. I can't stop talking about it. I just love doing it. So.
Yeah, I mean, everything. I mean, there's great takeaways that we can just insert into our Krav Maga program from IDS. There's just great things to insert. And I've trained a lot over the years. Oh my gosh. With Chef Jimmo, and using things that he does. Fantastic trainer, and inserted that into the program. And I think sometimes students don't, realize I'm not always textbook. I try to say, this is different, but it's just fighting sometimes. I mean, what's the base of your system? But you got to be willing to change and look at it. And if there's another technique, it's why I love John Whitman so much, that he will, be willing to look, and is there an easier way to do it? Is a great thing.
Krav adopts, right? And if it works, it works. And you use it, and that's what I really liked about it.
It's actually where I'm going to forget what you had said exactly that made me think of the Dunning-Kruger effect that Todd introduced us to.
Yeah.
We kind of know a little bit. It's just so many people suffer from it. And I'll just read a little quick thing from, we'll just say, I just landed on verywellmind.com. Never been there before.
Cool.
So why it happens, we're kind of skipping down a little bit to kind of be brief and have you expand your mind a little bit, and for you to Google it or check it out. But why it happens. So what explains this psychological effect? Are some people simply too dense to recognize it? insert joke here, Josh. Dunning, Josh is really smart, actually.
I'm not.
Dunning and Kruger suggests that this phenomenon stems from what they refer to as a dual burden. People are not only incompetent, their incompetence robs them of the mental ability to realize just how inept they are. Incompetent people tend to overestimate their skill levels, fail to recognize the genuine skill and expertise of other people, fail to recognize their own mistakes and lack of skill. That is, I don't know what percentage, but whenever I talk about percentages, I'm always like, give it 50-50.
Yeah.
But it's probably well above that. The people that I talk to sometimes, that they just totally overestimate their own skill.
You see that a lot?
Especially men.
Yeah.
Especially men will overestimate their skill, and it's been 20 years since they've actually been in a fight. And you don't have to fight hard to fight and keep those skills fresh. It's doing stuff slow and easy sometimes, and easing your way into things. But I think Dunning-Kruger effect is rampant among people, and they feel like they don't need to train. It's like what you tell me to say in a lot of our videos. You need this. You need it because you're not training.
Right. You don't know what you don't know. And the other thing is, the scary thing about the Dunning-Kruger effect is they're ignorant of their own ignorance, right? They don't know that they don't know. So that whole overestimation is huge. I mean, we were talking about it when Todd was out here, and I was making the claim that self-defense was covered. I went and got a CCW and a gun. And that was totally wrong. I mean, it was totally wrong. And people don't even know they're suffering from, we're talking about it like it's a mental disorder, but it's not. It's a way of thinking and being. And we just assume that we're good at what we do. Those are for the highly unskilled people. And sometimes there's that not ignorance, but that arrogance piece with it. I don't need it because I know this. And have you run into that? Like those people come in and they're really ignorant, are arrogant about the skill they think they have, but they don't know they have it. And then how you as a gym owner, try to communicate that? That's got to be hard, man. That's got to be really hard.
Yeah, working with, you're working with just so many different type of personalities, and what other, things that are going on with that person is really tough. I just go back to my father owning a construction company. Always said, he had bigger crews when he was younger for framing houses and stuff. And he said, I never regret not going to college. For business-wise, it was always, I felt like I needed to be a psychologist to my crew, and helping them through divorce, you name it, right? That your people aren't working, right? It's like, me telling you to tend the garden, which, tend the garden is from Bill, but.
Going into
we were
strong
making fun
here.
of you earlier because you can't get up, and then you're like, Tara really likes our morning time.
She does,
And
I like it with her.
I know, and I was like, tend the garden, and that was one time I was not a dick to you because I was like, whatever.
Wait a minute, you were?
I was like, you just need your morning time. You know what that sounds like?
What?
It sounds like, warrior, get your ass out of bed. That's what it sounds like to me.
I still got my butt out of bed. I come in and work.
Bill, right now, when Bill hears this, he's going to be cracking up. I need my morning time. We like our snuggle time.
Darn right. The world is cold. And
I'm going to get you a shirt.
I enjoy every minute I spend with her. So.
I'm going to do.
Whatever.
I'm writing this shit down because I can't memorize it. Sparkle sash.
What are you doing? What are you writing down?
T-shirt.
What are you
I'm going to
writing
make
down?
it. It's going to have a sash.
It better.
It's going to have a
It's gonna have
sash on
sparkles.
the
It better
T-shirt.
have sparkles on
so
that
it doesn't
stuff.
fall off and I don't choke you out with your sash. If Todd listens, I'm going to choke you out with your sash.
This is turning into the let's beat up Josh hour.
It's going to be.
I don't
It's
like
going to
this.
be a sash. I got
You better get me a sash.
I'm drawing a picture of
Dude,
it
I'll
right
wear
now.
that thing everywhere. Don't think for a second I won't. I'll wear
This
it with
is
pride.
It's going to have your sash going across. I'm going to make up some
Are you
BS
being
little
a dick right
patches
now?
for you.
Is that what you're doing?
What's that? I'm
Are you
drawing
being
it
a
out
dick?
right now. Yeah. And then the back says, I need my snuggle time. That's gonna.
I'm sorry, I'm busy
And you
working
can
on my
promote
marriage.
that. You can
I'll
promote
try
that.
not to do that when I'm here.
You can promote that on social media. I need my snuggle time, and we'll put right underneath it.
Can we put my
It's
face
either
on
going to
there?
be
Like a
Josh.
cartoon
Oh, I
face?
could. Well, I don't
Character
know.
face?
That's not going to help sales. Maybe we just put
why do I
Josh,
keep coming back
aka.
here? That's what I want to know. Why do I keep coming back in the door?
You
Like
love it,
every day
Josh.
I'm rolling back in. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad to be here.
You are, because
You know?
it's funny as shit.
It's funny. It's funny for you. I got to go home and be like, how was your day? And I got to say stuff like, it was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine.
Post-traumatic stress.
Right. What happened today?
Sparkle sash.
Well, let's start with it. John punched me in the nose and made fun of me because I wanted to spend some time with you in the
Then I'm
mornings
gonna
when
do.
you're off.
I'm gonna do another T-shirt that says Warrior Time.
I hope mine outsell the others just because.
I'm gonna put a clock on it and put 424.
This has digressed into something that's. I just wanted to talk about some IDS stuff, and then it turned
I know,
into
and
this.
I told you, like, let's talk about other stuff, Josh. It'll be more
did.
fun. You're gonna be all rigid.
I was
You're
like,
gonna be all
who do you
rigid.
think you are? Do you own this show?
Yes, I
And
do,
he
Josh.
actually
This is.
does, and that's where
I
I
said
was
we
like-
could have named it something else. I want to name it like Clear Sky or something.
No, I wanted to make it interesting and about you, John Hallett. Remember that was the idea? Because John Hallett's interesting, and then
Whatever.
I started working with you, and I was like, wow, he's not.
Whatever. He's not. Are you kidding me?
I was just like, wow.
Look
no,
at
stop. I see Lucy on there. I mean,
Yeah.
there better not be anything on there, because
Yeah,
I don't want to
Lucy's
have to go back and
homesick.
edit anything out.
Lucy's homesick. See.
Oh, whatever.
So I haven't called her in from school yet. That's why that's there.
You're going to get that phone call,
forgot.
like, where's your kid been?
Yeah.
This isn't even a podcast anymore. This is just you talking shit about me. And
If you're out there when you're in the gym and you like this podcast, let me know. We'll do more of these.
no, we won't do more of these. This is not fun for me.
Jamie really liked that last one.
What? So someone listened?
She texted me.
Ah!
I know, because you messed with the analytics. At least I know Jamie listens. She was like, that was awesome when you were making fun of Josh.
That's what people want to hear, is you making fun of me?
At least Jamie is like, hey, make fun of Josh on the podcast. That's
No,
freaking
no.
great.
And I'm nice to her.
I know.
Listen,
I know.
I even got my wife to show up here so we'd start
I know.
hanging
She's
out and
awesome. We
exercising.
like her more than you. That's why we're nice to her. She can stay. Yeah, I think this T-shirt's going to be cool. What kind of patches do you want on there? Like suck less? I'm going to put like suck
No,
less.
I would not like a suck less patch on there. Why don't we get me something
I'm
cool
going to
like
put one.
IDS
Suck more.
level
Josh
1
wants suck
instructor
more.
or something like
Suck
that?
more.
No, that's, you can't sell that. People be like, I want my suck more patch.
Yeah.
That sounds like something
just
out of
for
movie
you.
we'd not endorse.
No.
Are you having?
It's
Are
open.
you really
That's
gonna do
your.
this?
I'm
Is
like
this stuff you're planning?
Suck less. You want to suck more, so you want to sit on the couch more.
He's complaining
That's
about
what I'm
ping
talking
pong balls,
about.
but he'll get a bunch of T-shirts about Sparkle
No,
Sash.
I have no
Think
idea.
about that.
I have no idea what you're referring to. Okay, so I'm going to do a suck patch.
You're just thinking out loud to yourself at this point. You're not even trying to entertain our listeners. Maybe
They're
you are
entertained.
entertaining
I mean,
them.
if
I
we
don't
were
know.
live, if you could set up freaking some live
I
stuff,
told you
people
we
could
can
be-
do it live.
People could.
I
be
don't know how many times I told
commenting.
you that. All I got to do is
Set
press
the shit-
buttons.
Set the shit up, Josh.
John,
I don't know how to do it, Josh.
I'm gonna tear
I
up that
hired
new
you.
hire paperwork just like that.
You're a contractor, Josh.
You're
You're right
I
now.
can
You're
just let you
you're
go
contracting.
at any time.
You're not teaching IDS, Josh. This is contractor.
I'm a great
time.
IDS instructor.
I know. Good.
Oh, good. You agreed on that
Suck
one.
more.
No more suck more. Josh is awesome. Have we thought about maybe
we can do a
give me
little thing
better
like
nick-
John has hit me.
hammer or something like that? Like
John has hit me 99
jackhammer.
times.
And we'll have like a jackhammer sound for
John's
it.
punching bag.
No,
Is that a good
no,
one?
not
Is
that
a good-
one.
Is that a good patch?
Like if I
mean,
woke
what
up
were you
from a night of
envisioning
drinking-
when you
drunk?
proposed? This is serious, people. He wanted to have a sash. That's why Todd calls him Sparkle Sash.
You make one joke about getting a sash, and then suddenly I'm the sash guy. So that story was told in front of Todd. I was like, let's get a sash, thinking it was a tongue-in-cheek joke, and next thing I know,
You're Sparkle Sash.
I'm Sparkle Sash, according to Todd Fosse. And I accepted. I didn't sit there and be like,
you took
wow.
it like a good snuggle time I would.
Maybe we use the word man and not snuggle time?
What do you mean? I need my man time? Okay, I'll put that on your shirt.
I need my man time. Okay, put that on
If
a
that's
shirt,
what you
dude.
want on
If
your
it sells
shirt.
a bunch, then fine. I don't care at this point.
We could put a little, like, those little arrows, my man snuggle time. We could just do that on the shirt. We could do that.
You know,
We could do that.
this is the kind of, I didn't see that. I know it was pointing towards the camera, and
Yeah,
I'm sitting
you were
across from you. I don't care anymore. You just do whatever. If it makes money, who cares?
Yeah.
Okay?
All right. Well, I think this is a good place to wrap it up because I'm going to go work on this T-shirt.
I'm quitting. I'm walking away, and I'm just letting John
Josh, you
finish
quit
this.
every time.
I quit.
I think
I'm
Jamie
trying to
just
take my
brings you
microphone off. This isn't working anymore. How does this work? I'm out.
All right.
Hold on.
Hey, guys, next time, hopefully we're live and we can get some questions possibly in there. I have no idea what Josh is doing right now, but he's off camera. It's probably not appropriate. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning into this session. I'm going to flip my camera around. I know how to flip my camera around because that would be traumatizing. If I see your ass, Josh, I'm going to be traumatized. I'm not coming back to the podcast. He was going to mood me, people. He was going to mood me. Luckily, the camera was not facing you. All right, guys, I am John Hallett. This is the John Hallett Podcast. Thanks for joining us. We will talk to you guys next time. Thanks for joining. Stay safe out there. Do something to make yourself a little bit better.